So ever since that day, January 12th is celebrated National Youth Day because Swamiji is considered as the beacon of the youth, and so we can learn a lot from Swamiji's teachings and ideals. In fact, there is a Vivekananda study circle in IIT Madras where regular classes are held on Sunday and all that, and I happen to be the faculty in charge for that. Okay, so I met one of your colleagues in the morning and he was telling us all the social initiatives at Federal Institute of Technology, which is very nice. So the campus looks very nice. This is my first visit to this place. So this is not my first visit to Angamali itself. I was telling them last year I have come to University Airport about 6 times because of some exams, vivas or lectures in some colleges and so on. Alright, so we'll get to this topic now, the joy of teaching. So some of you may not agree. There is no joy. I mean, let's go through the lecture. And see, for example, the first thing I want to say is, we cannot come to conclusions on whether something is joyful or not based on what you feel. Why? Because what you feel dynamically changes with time. What you liked as a 10-year-old is not what you liked as a 20-year-old. So we have to give it some time. That is why we need a reference point. The reference point is our elders, people who have been inspirational, people who have done very well. Find what they are saying. Otherwise we will not. Otherwise look at religion also. We will not look at some reference books like Bible or Quran or Bhagavad Gita, because the mind, the manas, is so dynamic. It is so fickle. It keeps on changing. We don't know where the truth is. Right? Today you may like something, tomorrow you may not like something, and so on. Therefore, we have to anchor. You have to anchor or benchmark somewhere. So in scriptures we say you have to anchor it in dharma. Or, for example, you have to do what is right. Then you may again ask me what is right, what is wrong. If there is a doubt, then you have to go back. You have to go back or learn this from people who you respect, who are respected by others. Okay. So right now, for starters, let us assume that there is joy of teaching. So skeptics and agnostics may not believe what I am saying. Let's go through the lecture and then we'll see how it turns out. I think we can have a question and answer session towards the end. Okay, this is up to 12 o'clock. Alright. Okay, that is not me. I cannot jump so high. I cannot jump to such a height. So this is just the first page of my book. So it just symbolically tells us, tries to tell others that there is joy. Somebody is leaping in joy. The outline of the talk is as follows. First I will define teaching, then we will look at goals of teaching. Then what are the attributes of a good teacher, and then my philosophy of teaching, and the role of stress and hard work in teaching, which is very important. Then I'll tell you something about the 10,000 hours rule. Some of you may be aware of this. Then the role of jokes in the class. Okay, what is the role of humor in the class? And then we look at some theory from psychology called flow theory and creativity. Then the emotional practice of teaching and some simple tips to improve your teaching effectiveness and inspiring quotes. By the way, this is my take on this. Okay, you may not agree with whatever I say. Whatever is agreeable and you think can be implemented, you take it. Whatever you don't like, you just leave. Is it okay? So all of you are teachers, and everybody has a perspective. All of you are intelligent. All of you have done post-graduation and above in science or engineering, or some of you may be having doctorate. So you'll have your own perspective and see whether it correlates with your perspective. If it's going to improve your delivery and your teaching effectiveness, by all means please use this. Okay. So there are several definitions of teaching. I will use the definition by Concise Oxford Dictionary, because the COD, the Concise Oxford Dictionary, as you know, is a very important dictionary in the world. Basically because it is used by judges. If there is a case in the court of law in Great Britain, if somebody says that he called me, he swore at me, he called me with bad names and all that, then to find out the exact meaning of the word, the reference point is the Concise Oxford Dictionary. Okay? So nowadays dictionary has only Google is our, okay? So Google is everything now. Okay? So that's what there is a joke they say every morning everybody gets up and says, Om Googlaya Namaha. So Google is the answer. Google is the answer to everything. Right? The COD or Concise Oxford Dictionary defines teaching as imparting knowledge or to instruct someone in how to do something, especially in a school or as a part of a recognized program. So this is basically this is the concept of one to many. Our ancient Gurukul was one-to-one. One-to-one. There will be several there may be several students, but they come at different points in time, like your music teacher, your violin teacher. But now we are doing mass. One teacher to many. So that one teacher to many is required because we wanted to achieve a lot of GDP growth rates all over, and we wanted to do scientific progress and all that. Okay, that itself can be questioned, but let's not question that right away, right now. So this is the definition of Oxford Dictionary defines teaching like this. Teaching has millions of hits on Google. If you take your smartphone and just put teaching, it has millions of hits. But the beauty is, the first hit is teacher. The first entry is teacher, which itself is symbolic of the deep connection between teaching and teacher. Okay, the teacher is a very important. The teacher is a very, very important element in teaching. In fact, I tell you something which may not be music to your ears. In 2013, I went to the San Diego in USA for attending a conference in American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics. The NASA chief scientist gave the plenary talk, and he stood up and said, after 50 years we'll have a lot of colleges, we'll have a lot of universities, a lot of students, but there will be no professors. He says all the teaching will be done online and this thing, and the professors will be there only to grade or guide and so on. But that is an extreme view. It may not happen. But I think what is important, the take-home message for us is we have to stay relevant.